Okay, so my daily math video is kind of late, so if you've been playing Fortnite all day, you can still have time to get your math lesson in. I'm late because I was cleaning the classroom really good to make sure we got rid of all the germs, and I had to go through your desk to help look for some library books so we could make sure they're all checked in so we didn't have anything overdue. And only two kids in our class of 26 people had a desk that didn't make me want to scream. Only two kids had their papers in folders, which is confusing because I make folders that are color-coded so that you can know where to put your papers. But because of that, if you're number 18 or number 1 in our class, you can email me and tell me where you would like a $5 gift card. I was thinking Starbucks or Culver's or McDonald's, and I can get you a $5 gift card and I'll mail it to you. Some of you had semi-clean desks, but only 2 people didn't make me very angry. So, good job number 18 and number 1. So now I'm going to get started with the math. Today is a review day because we've done 3 days of Customary. Remember, with Customary, we've done capacity, which is how much it can hold. We've done length, which is distance, and we've done weight. So now we're just going to review those things that we've learned. So I'm going to take a picture of the mid-chapter review, and then we'll go over it. Okay. So, the first question says, the blank of an object is how heavy the object is. So that we know would be weight. I'm just going to put a W for weight. The blank of a container is the amount the container can hold. And that would be capacity. I think when I taught you capacity at school, I had mentioned it was for liquids only, but I guess that's not really true because you have a pint of ice cream. So I was wrong. So number 1 says, convert miles to yards. So remember, we have to think, I'm actually going to make this a little bit bigger because you probably can't see that. Okay, so I'm going to make miles to yards. So I have to think which one's bigger. I know a mile is bigger. So horse to fly, multiply. And I need to know how many yards are in a mile. And that's when I said you probably don't have to have memorized. But I'm going to give you the conversion. Just give me 1 second. I know that 1 mile has 1,760 yards. So I said you don't really have to have that memorized. We don't use that one a lot, but you should have it written down somewhere. So I'm doing 5 times 1,760, but I'm just going to ignore that 0, and I'm going to do 5 times 176. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 7 is 35, 36, 37, 38. Carry the 3. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8, and I'm going to add a 0 at the end. So your answer is 8,880. Next question. 48 quarts is how many gallons? So I have to think. I'm going fly to horse, divide of course. And I have to think how many quarts are in a gallon. So I think of my gallon kingdom, and there's 4 quarts or 4 queens in gallon kingdom. So I'm going to divide by 4. So 48 divided by 4, I know is 12. 9 tons is how many pounds? Well, I know a ton is bigger, so horse to fly, multiply. And I'm going to multiply by 2,000 because I know there's 2,000 pounds in a ton. 9 times 2 is 18, and I'm going to add 3 zeros, so 18,000 pounds. The next one, I'm just going to leave that ink there. 336 ounces is how many pounds? I know an ounce is smaller, so I'm going fly to horse, divide of course, and I know there's 16 ounces in a pound. I'm going to go over here so I can have room for that. So 336 divided by 16. I know 16 cannot go into 3, but it can go into 33 2 times, which gives me 32. I subtract and get 1, and I bring down the 6. 16 can go into 16 1 time. So 21 is going to be my answer. 14 feet is how many yards in feet. So let's think about this. I'm converting it feet to yards. So I'm going fly to horse, divide, of course, and I'm dividing by 3. So 14 divided by 3. 3 cannot go into 1, but it can go into 14, and I can think 3, 6, 9, 12, so 4 times, and 3 times 4 is 12, and I subtract, I'm going to have a remainder of 2. That means it's going to be 4 whole yards and 2 feet remaining. So it would be 4 yards and 2 feet. 11 pints is how many fluid ounces? So I have to think about this. Think of my gallon kingdom. In the kingdom of gallon, there are 4 queens. Each queen has a prince and a princess. Each prince and each princess has 2 cats. And each cat drinks 8 ounces. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I know there are 16 cups in, hold on one second. Maybe I got myself confused. There's 16 I don't know how to say this. There's 16 of these, so I'm going to multiply 16 times 8. So 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 4 is 9, 10, 11, 12. But I messed up, didn't I? So this is saying in a pint. I was thinking of a whole gallon. This is why Miss McCoy has to think about things. So pint and fluid ounces. So my picture isn't wrong. I just did too many things here. So let's get rid of some stuff here. So I went to town and I drew all of those 8s, but really I only need to focus on 1 pint. So 1 pint would have 8, 16. So 1 pint would be 16 ounces, which makes sense because it's 2 cups and each cup is 8 ounces. So I kind of got ahead of myself. So 1 pint is 16 ounces. So let's go back to the question. So 11 pints is how many ounces? So I'm going to do 11 times 16. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 1 is 6. Put a 0. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. And when I add, I'm going to get 6, 7, 1. 176. So if something, like last time I was doing that question, I was like, that doesn't make sense. If something doesn't make sense, you have to do what I did and kind of stop, breathe, look at the question, and try it again. The next one says 96 fluid ounces is it bigger or less than 13 cups? So you need to think, do you want to make them both fluid ounces? Do you want to make them both cups? I like to multiply, so I'm going to change 13 cups to fluid ounces. So let's do that. 13 cups is how many fluid ounces? And I know there's 8 ounces in a cup, so I'm going to do horse to fly, multiply. I'm going to multiply by 8. So 13 times 8. 8 times 3 is 24, carry the 2. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 2 is 10. So 104. So I have to think, what is bigger? 96 fluid ounces or 104 fluid ounces? Well, 104 fluid ounces is bigger. You eat the bigger number. 25 pounds or 348 ounces. Again, I like to multiply. So I'm going to pick to change it to ounces. So 25 pounds is how many ounces? Well, I have to think about this. There's 16 ounces in a pound, so I multiply by 16. 25 times 16. 6 times 5 is 30, carry the 3. 6 times 2 is 12. 13, 14, 15. Make sure you cross that out and put a 0. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2, and then you add it up. You're going to get 0, 10, 2, 3, 4. So, what's bigger? 400 pounds? Or sorry, 400 ounces? Or 348 ounces? Well, 400 ounces would be bigger. The last one we're going to do is, of this type of problem, is 8 yards is what to 288 inches? Again, I like to multiply. So, let's do this. I'm going to make 8 yards to inches. So I know I'm going horse to fly, multiply, and I'm going to multiply by 36 because I know there are 3 feet in a yard and every foot is 12 inches. So 12 times 3 is 36. So I'm doing 36 times 8. 8 times 6 is 48. 8 times 3 is 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So I get 288 inches. So let's look at that. 288 inches compared to 280 inches, those are going to be equal. Now I'm going to see if I can get that. There we go. So you can see number 12. Give me 1 second. Okay. A standard coffee mug has a capacity of 16 fluid ounces. Annie needs to fill 26 mugs of coffee. How many quarts does she need? So I'm going to make 16 fluid ounces, and I'm going to multiply by that by 26, and then I'm going to convert that to quarts. That's what I would do. There might be multiple ways to solve that, but that's how I would do it. So let's do 16 times 26. 16 times 26. 6 times 6 is 36. Carry the 3. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 3 is going to be 9. Put a 0. Cross that out. 2 times 6 is 12. Carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. And we're going to add this up. 416. But that's not my answer. Now I'm converting it to quarts. So I have to think of gallon kingdom. In the kingdom of gallon, there's 4 quarts in a gallon. Each queen has a prince and a princess. So I should have said there's 4 queens in the gallon kingdom. They each have 2 cats. And they each drink 8 fluid ounces. So the question was fluid ounces to quarts. So I have to look at a quart. And in a quart, I see 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need to multiply 4 times 8. So I see 32 ounces. So I need to take this 416 and divide by 32. Yes, 416 divided by 32. 32 cannot go into 4, but it can go into 41 one time, and that's going to give me 32, and I'm going to subtract. I can't do that, so I'm going to borrow and make this a 3, and that's an 11. 11 minus 2 is 9. 3 minus 3 is 0. Bring down the 6. Now, I'm just going to make a guess. I need a 2, something I multiply by 2 to end in a 6. Well, 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. So let's try by multiplying by 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9, 96. So my answer would be 13 quarts. Okay, now I'm going to take a picture of the next page. And then we will be done for tonight. Okay, let me take a picture of the next page. Okay, so let's look at this. I'm going to make it bigger so you can see it. The length of a classroom is 34 feet. What is the measurement in yards and feet? So 34 feet to yards and feet, which tells me there's probably going to be a remainder. So 34 feet to yards, and then I'm going to have it left over for feet. So feet to yards first. I know that a foot is smaller, so I'm going fly to horse, divide, of course, and I know there are 3 feet in a yard. So 34 divided by 3. 3 can go into 3 one time, which would give me 3, subtract, give 0, bring down a 4. 3 can go into 4 one time, and I subtract, I'm going to have 1 left over. So it would be 11 yards and 1 foot. Okay, next question. Charlie's puppy, Max, weighs 8 pounds. How many ounces does Max weigh? So, it says, I'm going to read it one more time. Charlie's puppy, Max, weighs 8 pounds. how many ounces does it weigh? And I know when I'm weighing a baby, I think of that as ounces. There's 16 ounces in a pound. So I'm going to go horse to fly, multiply. I'm going to multiply by 16. So if I do that, 16 times 8, 8 times 6 is 48, carry the 4, 8 times 1 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 128. Milton purchases, oh, you can't see the question, sorry. Milton purchases 5-gallon aquarium for his bedroom. To fill the aquarium with water, he has a container with a capacity of 1 quart. How many times does he have to fill it up? So, I need to know how many quarts are in a gallon. So let's do that. Think of this. In the kingdom of gallon, there are 4 queens. So I automatically know there are 4 quarts in a gallon. So his 5-gallon tank is going to have 4 quarts for every gallon. So that means there's 20 quarts. So how many times is he going to have to fill it? Well, 20, and it's filled by 1 quart. So 20 divided by 1 would give you 20. So it's going to take him 20. He has to fill and empty it 20 times. The next question. Sarah uses a recipe to make 2 gallons of her favorite mixed berry juice. 2 containers she plans to use the juice will have a capacity of 1 quart. The rest of the containers have a capacity of 1 pint. How many pint-sized containers will she need? Okay, so I have to think about this. I have gallons, I have quarts, I have pints. Let's make them all pints, because that's going to be easier, because I'm going to multiply. So I have to think of the kingdom of gallon. There are 4 queens, and each queen has a prince and a princess. So if I look at that, in 2 gallons, how many pints are there going to be? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 in 1 gallon, so there's going to be 8 plus 8. There's going to be 16 pints in a gallon. In 2 gallons, excuse me. In 1 quart, there's 2 pints. So I have to think about this. She's going to have some containers. 2 of the containers, so I'm trying to make 16. 2 of the containers are going to have 1 quart in them, which we really know is 2 pints. So 2 plus 2 is 4. So she's trying to get, that takes care of 4 pints. She's trying to get 16 pints. I don't know what that 16 is. It's a little bit crazy. So she needs 16 pints. She already's filled or taken care of 4 pints. I just subtract and I'm going to get 12 pints. These questions you really have to think about. I don't even know if they're going to say they trick you on purpose, but they put multiple different units. You have to truly think about the question. We only have one more question. That's number 17. The average length, can you see it? The average length of a white-beaked dolphin is about 111 inches. What is that in feet and inches? So I'm changing 111 inches to feet and inches. So I know that there's 12 inches in a foot. So I'm going to divide 111 divided by 12. I need to think of my 12s. 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, that's 5, 72, 84, 96, that's 9, 108. Wait, is that an 8 or is that 9? Sorry. Miss McCoy messed it up. Okay, so 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, 96. Sorry, 9 times would be 108. Let's try 9. Got myself confused there for a second. So if I subtract, I'm just going to count up. 109, 110, 111. That would give me a remainder of 3. So that's going to mean it'd be 9 feet and 3 inches. And if you think about it, it'd be 3 out of 12 inches. So it'd be like technically 1/4. So 9 1/4 inch. Because you have to think of, maybe not 9 1/4 inch, but you have to think if you only have 1/4 of what you need to make another foot. So not 1/4 inch, excuse me, 1/4 foot. 9 1/4 foot. But you don't really say that. You would just say 9 3 inches. Okay, we're done. So, trying to be cool. So if you want to subscribe to my channel, you can learn during COVID-19. So subscribe below. Bye.